I didn't answer your last question, which is, key man risk. What if I go away? And I thought about it, and and what I would just say is, first of all, I don't have any heirs, but a nonprofit foundation, which will morph in being a public charity. So when I'm gone, my stock, my shares, my assets flow into a public charity whose mission is to support Bitcoin and the adoption of Bitcoin forever. And so you don't have to worry about MicroStrategy changing direction. You don't have to worry about, the truth is, I'm probably better for Bitcoin gone than here. Dead than alive. As long as if you're dead, you can't, what was the word? Murder? Was it slay your heroes? Slay your heroes. So, once I'm gone, I'm not going to be talking, so I can't give a bad tweet, I suppose. And MicroStrategy will just go on with the MicroStrategy. And the MicroStrategy is simple. It's raise capital from the institutions that have capital, buy Bitcoin, hold the Bitcoin forever, don't lose the Bitcoin, don't sell the Bitcoin.
Welcome back to the channel. Aaron here from the Bitcoin Bros coming back at you with another video. That was Michael Saylor discussing to you the biggest risk to MicroStrategy right now. That would be losing him, but it really doesn't matter. You should just buy Bitcoin, hold it for the long term. So we'll be getting into some more MicroStrategy clips at the end of the video. I want to go over some charts with you guys here in today's video before we get into all that. So make sure to stay tuned to the end. Like and subscribe. We have new Bitcoin, MicroStrategy, crypto videos coming out every single day. We can see here from Jake. He says, MicroStrategy, if this doji plays out the same as the last doji at the trend zone, we are in for a big upside move. So you can see every single time MicroStrategy has came down and got into this green box area, it's hit a bit of a reversal and a pretty huge reversal. So if you're trading MicroStrategy, you could put a potential call in and make a lot of money if this continues to play out this way. And it looks like we are getting close to a bottom there. So something to pay attention to there. And then in terms of Bitcoin, the Bitcoin ETFs have turned around. You can see just this week, over 20,000 Bitcoin have been consumed by the ETFs, only 450 Bitcoin mined every single day. And you can see over the past 2 weeks, we really have nothing but inflows, a couple of red days here. And October 4th, this was a date that I was telling you guys about you need to pay attention to. And why was I saying pay attention to October 4th? That's when the job numbers came out. I got a lot of hate in the comment section. A lot of you guys saying the job report numbers are fake. I understand they're probably not 100% correct, but the market does follow the job numbers a lot of the time. And the next time we see job numbers is November 1st. I told you guys you need to be watching out for October 4th, and I think the next date that we need to be watching out for is November 1st. As long as these job reports continue to come in good, the market will probably stay bullish. And if you look back here, around October 4th, Bitcoin was trading at around $60,000. Got into a long back here at around 60K. Right now, currently up with 10x leverage, 120%. That is not bad, just over a couple of weeks. Obviously, trade at your own risk. But you can see right now we are on this kind of parabolic trend line here over the short time from here in the 4 hour. It's been holding as support. And if this does come back down here, I do have a stop out at $65,000 to take profit. But if we continue to stay on this trend line, the next level up we're going to be looking at is $73,000. Bitcoin did just go back above the 200-day moving average. So that is also very good. So looking very bullish for Bitcoin here over the next couple of weeks. Bitcoin looks very bullish in the short term. And like I said, I think the next date that we have to pay attention to is November 1st when we get those job numbers. That's going to be on a Friday. So be paying attention to that date, even if you don't believe the job numbers are real or if they're fake. And along with all that, we have the M2 money supply continuing to go up. We bottomed out late last year, 2023, and since then, M2 money supply has been going up. So more liquidity, and Bitcoin has been following that trend. This is from Raul Powell. This is a chart that he likes to show. This is the GMI Total Liquidity Index. Bitcoin tends to follow this. You can see GMI total liquidity, it's trending up. So Bitcoin will probably trend up right along with it. If this is an indicator, we can see Bitcoin around $90,000 in November. This is not financial advice, but that next date, November 1st, if we have some good jobs numbers and Bitcoin's kind of just trading around these levels that are still below $73,000, it might be a good time to put a long in. But like I said, not financial advice. Trade at your own risk. But let's go ahead and get into a video clip from Preston Pish talking about MicroStrategy and why nobody really understands what's going on with MicroStrategy right now and how bullish this could really be. Let's go ahead and play the clip.
So many people are missing what's happening here. And let me tell you, there's one hell of a story happening here.
Yeah.
Him exercising these stock options and then buying Bitcoin privately with the 5,000 a day till April. That is not even a story to me. The story to me is MicroStrategy. I'm going to use the word debasing their shares outstanding by 25% over the last year. This is a highly dilutive activity for what would appear to be a common stock on the publicly traded markets. But that's not what's happened from a Bitcoin per share basis. I would describe it as being anti-dilutive. So what in the world does all that mean? So when we look at equity all over the world, especially publicly traded equity, it's typically around a PE of 30 to 35 times. Okay. That's the current market rate if you're dealing with billion-dollar enterprise in any type of developed public markets these days. If that valuation is rich and we're moving into a Bitcoin world, what it means is you should be issuing shares and taking those shares and converting it into the new settlement layer. Okay. And the proof in the pudding is the performance of MicroStrategy in how much Bitcoin you hold in a per share basis over the last year. So what Michael Saylor is literally screaming to the world with his actions is, not only is my MicroStrategy overvalued at whatever it is, 30 or 35 times earnings or whatever it is today, but so is your equity. And what you should be doing is selling more of this common stock at 30 or 35 times earning and converting it into Bitcoin and sticking it on your treasury. And we've talked about this speculative attack, the Michael Goldstein and Pierre Rochard idea of a speculative attack. And a lot of people were throwing that term around with now MicroStrategy is doing this. But when they initially did it, they were doing it with convertible debt, and they were paying like 75 bips for this 5-year duration. It was convertible into common stock. And everybody was like, oh yeah, this is the speculative attack, right? It's done by a publicly traded company. But you want to talk about a speculative attack? It's what he's doing right now by issuing more common stock and creating more shareholder value for shareholders by not even like having to pay interest rate. He's just doing it by issuing more common stock and then converting it into Bitcoin, because the PE is grossly mispriced globally all over the planet. So what would be an appropriate PE ratio in a Bitcoin world? Well, I've said this on other shows. If it's 10, or maybe it even goes to 5 or whatever, let's just say it's 10, right? And you're at a 30. That means you need a 30 or a 66% reduction from current equity premiums to manifest itself into this new world, which means you should be a seller of common stock until it gets to those PE ratios if you're denominating your treasury and all your free cash flows into Bitcoin. For the companies that aren't doing that, it even has further the fall. This is a really, really big deal and a really big idea that I think is lost on nearly everybody. Now, we can get into whether this strategy is appropriate and smart when we get into maybe late 2025. I personally would probably adjust the strategy a little bit, like me personally. But for where he's at today, and where we're at in the environmental backdrop of where Bitcoin's at in the 4-year cycle. I think this is not just brilliant, but I think it's genius. And I think he's putting on a freaking clinic for Wall Street, and they're all asleep at the wheel.